I certainly didn't go to New Zealand, but what I did do, and so did you, Wolves, so I guess we should just carry on into this. So we went to MAGFest. Now, I had never been to MAGFest.
I've been to MAGFest many times.
Everybody knows that I hadn't been to MAGFest because the number one thing I heard at MAGFest was, holy shit, you've never been to MAGFest.
Yep.
I can't believe you actually crawled out of your hole at MAGFest. And there I was. No, MAGFest is the shit, for real.
How did you enjoy the Music and Games Festival?
I don't think I saw any of it. What I did see was the fact that MAGFest is the lightning rod that brings all comers from everywhere. Mm-hmm. But first of all, yes.
This was a weird year, though.
What?
Because this was a year where like a bunch of people were missing, of course. Besides like Matt not making it out.
Well, my panel got canceled.
Exactly. Yeah.
MAGFest canceled it.
No, I know. And so we had no official standing there whatsoever, and that sucked, and I was really bummed about that. And we had to renegade it again.
So, really quickly, someone asked me before I got here, I was like, what was that? I was going to be...
We did the Fountain meetup again.
That's cool.
Yep.
But I was supposed to do commentary over Mortal Kombat Annihilation with Matthew from Botchamania.
Yeah. Matthew wasn't even there.
Exactly.
Because he couldn't come.
That's what I'm getting at.
Because he couldn't get a room.
Which the room scenario was really abysmal.
On previous years, since
Mother's
you don't know,
Basement
Pat,
didn't make it out. The
Matthew
rest of Team 4-Star didn't make it out.
MAGFest's most popular tournament, which was No Mercy on the N64. And for whatever reason, he couldn't get there.
So just to say that, like, it was still a really good time.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that, like, half the warriors that we usually have around going nuts, Brennan, and
everybody was complaining about the room situation.
Couldn't make it out.
And when I arrived, I'm like, because I had heard that throughout the grapevine for many days prior to arriving, right?
Yeah.
And then I showed up, and I was like, well, how big of it? Oh, no, wait. Having the room at the Gaylord Hotel itself is the absolute shit and must be acquired next year. Well, it must.
You can imagine just never having to go outside.
The coat situation was infuriating the entire time.
There you go.
I went up to somebody with Paige a bunch of times, like, hey, where do we put our coats? And they went up your ass, basically.
Yeah.
But what I did get to do, for real, though, is that, well, I hung out with Bunny and Austin, and I saw Warren again, and those guys are cool. But I have this list because it's hard for me to remember. I got to meet Patch Wolf, who is, like, the cheekiest cunt. I love that fucking guy.
That is a handsome man.
So fucking handsome.
But
it's upsetting.
He does look like Setting 2 on Character Creator, though. that was in his video where someone said you look like SWAT 2 on Character Creator, and he goes, fair enough.
That cracked me up. I finally got to meet Cranky, which is like weird that I hadn't meet Cranky in forever. Cranky's the shit.
Yeah.
He's so nice. And he doesn't wear that kigurumi anymore, which he had to keep telling to every single person there because they all thought no one recognized him without it.
Well, it's like if I suddenly stopped with or Matt stopped with the skulls, or I stopped at the reboot.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Finally met Magma. Magma's great.
Yup.
Met Sheena. Sheena's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Brobex, Akudabar, very talented people.
Yeah.
Working on very cool things. And I also met Tumello in our line.
So I was trying to meet up with Tumello the whole time, and it sucks because the other problem with MAGFest is who is there. You try to cross paths as much as possible, and you can't. Usually, at some point, we go have a drink with Slow Beef, and it was just like
I walked out of a restaurant, and Wooly looks panicked, running into the restaurant, and points at me and goes, "Oh, good," and then points at Slow Beef and goes,
"Here,
Slow Beef," and then ran away. You ran away.
I had to go. There was another meeting
what
inside.
The deal is Slow Beef's panels for the last 2 years have had bomb threats, and MAGFest has had to cancel them because of it.
Sucks.
There's some asshole that keeps doing it, but they don't have any choice but to cancel it.
That's fucking shitty.
I don't know what the deal is with like Slow Beef. Really? Why not us?
Yeah.
We deserve that more than Slow Beef does.
I don't know who he's pissed off.
I don't know.
I guess.
Maybe it was Dark.
I don't know. All I know is that, the whole time I'm trying to meet up with Esteban and like he's like running around doing his filming. Dipod was there, and Dipod had his build for his shit, and like trying to get in to figure out where that's going on, and like time frames and whatnot.
I had
don't
the
work
Fight
out.
Night guys pointed out to me no less than 3
Zeke
times.
and crew, yeah,
and just never ended up making the 10-foot journey over to them.
It's madness in that way.
Oh, the one that got me though is me and Eyepatch Wolf were talking shit at each other for Third Strike for like 2 full days, and we're never at any point able to make the actual
thing happen. Yeah.
So that bullshit is ongoing.
Yep.
And when Online Edition comes out, Eyepatch Wolf will be embarrassed somewhere.
Did you see the fucking 100-button fighter?
No.
There is a fighting game, and I caught some footage of it, that is being made. 2Mello's doing the soundtrack for it. Of course he is. It is a 100-button fighter that is just all buttons. You both just run your hands over it, and they all do random things that change every round. And it's called the 1,000-button project because they're trying to get that up to 1,000.
What does button 52 do?
And it depends on what round. And it's
wow.
And like the crazy thing about it is that in particular is that like I was like, okay, this sounds like tell me who like what you think of this type of game and who would make that.
That sounds like a Mugen project gone awry.
I mean, like the first thing I'm like, this is someone who knows what people want to do after a tournament. Let's get some drinks, put some shots on the machine, have some fun,
just find some good buttons.
And it is not that at all. I got to speak to the developer, and she basically explained that this is entirely from someone who she doesn't know anything about the fighting game community.
Okay.
No interest in any of that whatsoever.
All right.
This is being built as a thing where it's like it's almost like an art installation. Actually, it is an art installation.
Okay.
Where the intent is so that you can't actually get good or win at it. It's just meant to be a mass simulator of sorts, and you are effectively like, and she's like surprised at how the FGC is like, oh my god, this is amazing, and like super embracing it, and she's like going to be taking it to CEO and stuff. So weird. But it's a super weird outsider project that is like didn't expect that this would be something the FGC would love, and she thought it would be like, actually she thought everyone would hate it. And it's like, no, man. This is what we need.
No, because you said words like 100-button fighter, and I immediately, like, if you'd said 12-button fighter, I'm like, yeah. 100-button fighter.
Yeah, because the thought is let's bring that skill ceiling down to the floor, but what the FGC guys see is the skill ceiling kicked up into space.
And now it's a challenge. And that's what I'm trying to explain. I'm like, and she's like, no, I'm making changes to make sure that people are not going to consistently win. And I'm like, I'm telling you.
No, you can't.
You're not going to do that. People will see that as a wall that you can climb.
People consistently win rock, paper, scissors. And that is random.
So,
fucking Mark Swint.
It's going to be at CEO.
Us in rock, paper, scissors 2 MAGFest ago.
He did. It's going to be at CEO. And I mean, and I was basically like, I'm saying you're going to learn some shit. You're going to learn some shit. And like, even like the way it came around, like Jabali she didn't even know who he was. He kind of came around and was like, yeah, that's interesting. I want, like, bring that over. Right? Let's get that going. She's like, yeah, okay, sure. Some guy from some Orlando something.
Some weird guy with a belt.
Was interested or whatever. And then, like, 2Mello's like, that's Jabali. It's crazy. So, anyway, there's some footage of that, too.
But, like we were saying, so you were trying to find 2Mello the whole time.
Yeah.
And then we're in hour 3 of the meetup line, and this wonderfully soft-spoken man walks up, and I think I'm getting a sip of water, and I see your eyes go, buh. And you go, this is 2Mello. And I remember I went, what? Like, I went, like, what? Who? Like, I don't understand, like, what jackass is coming up saying, like, and then you go, 2Mello. And I go, I think I just said music.
Well, I was just like, well, because I told him where we'd be, but I'm like, why would he actually come stand? That's crazy. Yeah, no, that was cool.
He should have just like went through the head of the line.
Basically.
Yeah.
The Silver Gunner and Gilva Sunner people, the collective was also there doing their thing. There's a lot of people, but MAGFest overall.
MAGFest. Oh, one last thing I forgot to say. Man, Trainer Pat's pecs are really nice to feel.
There you go.
They're very soft, but like strong.
But fair. Soft but fair.
Soft but fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, MAGFest is shit. I'll definitely be there next year. Huge amount of fun.
Yeah.
But there's people there.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Well, I can take that in like a couple day bursts.
And while I don't fully understand the implications of it, for those asking, yes, that we did also take a picture with Sonichu.
Yes, we did.
That did happen.
That was very bizarre.
Yeah.
Why,
All of a sudden, Paige runs over and goes, "Hey, you guys, grab you!" and just grabbed us and put us next to. Wait, did you say Sonichu?
Yeah.
No, Christina Chan rather. And it's like took the picture and like kind of don't really.
Isn't that the same thing? No.
Yeah, they're the same person.
Okay,
but just kind of didn't really fully appreciate it at the time. It's like standing next to a real breathing meme.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know enough. But that
don't worry, it's well documented.
It seems to be.
There's stuff. Not a little amount either.
Although I think the phrasing I encountered upon looking it up is possibly the most well documented person to ever exist.
That I don't believe, but okay. Take any president.
This shit's important
at any time.
No.
On the
Important
internet.
stuff. It means
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
fucking memes. I'm gonna kill myself. Oh,
Pick up
man.
any cool shit.
Yeah, I picked up a bunch of shirts. That's pretty much it.
I will say that, like, despite that room situation being abysmal and the guest thing being all
Hey,
weird and
your
wonky,
place was real close by and awesome.
Yeah, that was a nice spot we got there. It was an Airbnb, and but the actual dealer's room, BYOC, Game Expo Hall, and then arcade thing are just every year expanding and getting crazier and bigger and brighter. And this year they had at the back a fucking 12 setup virtual world Mech Warrior,
Gunslinger Stratos.
Mech Warrior BattleTech Link game from the thing my card is from.
Right.
And they had the computer set up and people were playing it and a line going. And I showed them my card and they lost their shit. And they called everybody over and went, "Look at this shit."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, do you think it still works?" And they're like, "No."
Something that made me
It won't.
Something that made me really sad, aside from missing certain friends, was like someone just showing footage of the Street Fighter the movie arcade cabinet still going with the sound glitches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I missed that arcade cabinet.
Yep.
That arcade was impressive.
There was one year where it was like not great, where the number of games were the same, if not like comparable. But
Depends
everything
on which
was broken.
companies. Depends on which
everything
company.
was broken one year, or everything that was like interesting to us.
Yeah.
was broken one year, and I was just like, oh,
Different
man.
companies are contracted to bring in the machines,
Like-
right?
'Cause it's like
and
the-
it depends on who you get. And in these cases, like, yeah, we got all the candy cabs up at the front with the lineup of every fighting game from fucking obviously Third Strike, rounding all around to Hokuto on the other side. And the Fate Stay Night Unlimited Code game, like everything on those candy cabs. And then you go into the American section, cap it off with the dance section at the back, and it has everything you could look for.
That arcade, like it didn't just impress me with its like diversity and its birth, but there's a moment that Cranky and I shared that's going to live in my memories of MAGFest forever. Of a kind of a scary experience I have when I go to these arcades. So I found out that Cranky is a light gun fiend, which I love.
Was he wearing his Get Smoked hat?
No.
Okay.
But he's got his game. He kept talking about Time Crisis, right? But we walked up to a House of the Dead 2 machine, right? And you guys have played House of the Dead a million times.
Yeah.
The fear of going up to the House of the Dead 2 machine is you pick it up, you click
Gun
the
doesn't
trigger
work.
once, and you're like, and you can fucking feel the elastic, just a pile of shit.
You hear the spring.
And I look over at Cranky, and he's testing it. I'm like, yes. And then we both stand and do the fucking bit with the putting your hand over the top of the light gun. Is like, oh, you do that too? He goes, what do you do? Yeah, of course. Like, of course.
Yeah.
And just like, a lot of these things are fragile and don't age well. But every single thing I actually encountered was kept in well repaired, and it was as if it had just released.
Right.
Like, Time Crisis and House of the Dead also have the thing of like the aim drifts if the guns get banged around because the mirror in it shifts, and it's like, nope, looks great, felt great, everything's perfect. I had a blast. I even played DDR with Eye Patch Wolf,
Keeping
who sucks, and I crushed him.
Keeping the I played the Just Dance like idle version thing.
Is that the diagonal one?
No. There's no foot pads.
Yeah.
It's
you played the one with the poses.
Yeah.
Austin's really good at that.
He killed it. I did all right though for my first try. It wasn't bad. The fact that they upkeep the machines is a really impressive thing, and you only really need one perfect version that you're pulling out there whenever someone rents you, your stuff out. But like, yeah, they clearly are like replacing the sticks, replacing the buttons, making sure shit works for the most part. There's still occasionally problems with mainly, I guess, whoever was in charge of the Western stand-up cabs. There was a couple of them that were like, meh.
I walked by like a busted Pac-Man machine, I think.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if at any point you walked by and looked at the Marvel 2 setup and saw that it was frozen or busted. Yeah. But if you ever run by a Marvel 2 setup at an arcade or at a con, and it's stuck on the fucking Venom BB Hood glitch, blame Maguma, because Maguma
he'll do that to every single one.
Compulsively will go to them.
Why, man?
Just because you can.
So,
and it's so
I'm gonna go to
easy.
this con. I'm gonna fuck up that cab.
Yeah.
Isn't that just fixed with a reset?
It is, right? And you just got to come over a soft reset. But there's so many unpredictable results, and all you have to do is just to spread the anarchy. You get Venom and BB Hit on the same team, and if the final hit is going to kill if the characters like that you're fighting is about one hit away from death, you do Venom's Venom Web. And while he's in the snare, while you land the hit off, you just DHC into Grandmother's Dreams or whatever, the kick super with BB Hood, and then you just get madness.
And you just walk away.
You get console slowdown, assists that are dead undead, a flashing KO screen that never goes away. The game just stops knowing what to do with itself. And one of 6 different random wacky results will happen. So enjoy.
It's good stuff.
Why would he do this?